All right, we ready. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for joining us again for another segment of Geechee Line Journey. And we are back with our special co-host here, Mr. Dana Middleton of Best Fares for Travel. And we're going to start getting into like almost a countdown of, we've gone through what makes a person decide to retire and move to the Philippines. Now we're getting into the practical application of what a person should do or must do in preparation for that move. So without further ado, we have Mr. Dana Middleton here to continue on with our program. Take it away.
Hello, everybody. Forgive me, I'm losing my voice today. I've been out in this high pollen count and heat, so I'm kind of losing my voice, so bear with me. We've been talking about why would a person select the Philippines to retire to? And today what we're going to talk about is, all right, you've made that decision. Now, what are the first steps? Well, the very first step is to go, all right? So if you're going to go and when you're going to go, you need to be prepared. So let's talk about what it takes to be prepared. Now, remember, this is the first step in getting there. So these are what truly preliminary steps that you need to take. And as I always suggest, do your research, or if I'm your travel agent or consultant, then have me do your research. Save you a lot of time. Because they say typically for a trip, it takes about, anywhere from 5 to 10 hours to get your preliminary research done. So when I get asked why travel agents are valuable, we save you a lot of time and a lot of headache. Now, okay, the very first thing you need to do is figure out when is going to be the best time for you to go. Now, typically coming from the Western world, United States, Canada, Mexico, Central America, the best time to go is a lot of times during the summer. Now, our summer is their rainy season. Understand that. So what that means is the temperatures are going to be about the same. However, the humidity is going to flux. All right. But it doesn't rain all day, depending on where you're going. Okay. But for the most part, rainy season doesn't mean it's going to rain from sun up to sundown. It means for an hour, 2 hours during the day, it's going to rain. And sometimes, depending on the trade winds, it can cloud up like it's going to rain, but high pressure areas over the islands will prevent it from raining. So you'll have an overcast day rather than a rainy day. So with that in mind, that's why it's key to figure out when is going to the best time for you to go. And I guess what I'm trying to tell you is don't rule out the rainy season. Okay, don't rule out the rainy season at all. Now, once you figured out what time of year you want to go, the next thing is how long are you going? Now, the duration of your trip, a lot of that's going to depend on what you're trying to accomplish. Some people are going over there for a vacation, okay? And so they say, well, okay, I'll take a 2-week vacation and I'll go to the Philippines and check it out, okay? I will tell you, for the most part, you will wish you spent more time, and to be frank with you, 2 weeks is just not enough. Because even though the boundaries of the Philippines will fit in the state of California, there is so much to do within that 1,200-mile north tip to south tip that you're inevitably, even with 30 days, you're not going to cover it all. So figure out where you want to go, okay? And then from there, you'll be able to get an idea of what the area is like without just running through and then at the end not really knowing what you saw, okay? You want to be able to spend enough time in each place to say, okay, I got a real good taste of what Iloilo is like, what Dumaguete is like, what Manila is like, what Clark is like, okay? So don't cheat yourself, okay? If it's a vacation, all right, I get it, okay? You only got so much time for that vacation. And I do have a tip to help you if you want to ever extend your vacation, how to do it with your employer. However, I can't tell you right now in this format. You'll have to give me a call to figure it out so I can show you how to do it. Luggage. All right. If you have the older style canvas luggage, realize you're not providing yourself with much security, even if the zippers do lock, you know? Get the fiberglass luggage. It's actually lighter. I do not recommend for your check-in bag, don't get the two-wheel bag, okay? The one that you have to prop it to one side as you walk with it, so it's on the rollers. Go with the four-wheel baggage, all right? Now, typically, the airlines flying to the Philippines, and most anywhere internationally these days, will allow you to take one check-in bag, okay, that is 50 kilograms in weight, or just, not 50 kilograms, but just under 50 pounds. Use 50 pounds as your target weight without having to pay more. So your check-in bag should be 50 pounds or less. Your carry-on normally needs to be about 20 pounds. And most airlines will also allow you to carry a backpack because they will also allow a woman to carry a purse. And so the backpack is basically a male purse. You can tuck it up under the seat and they'll let you go without charging you for it, okay? So with that being said, don't overpack for the Philippines. It's not too early at this preliminary stage to start figuring out what is necessary for you to bring and what is not necessary for you to bring. For example, if you take prescription drugs are necessary. So put your prescription drugs in your backpack because it will be with you the whole time you're flying there. And most of the time when you're going around to different places in the Philippines, or put it in your carry-on. Now, I have a client that he has neck problems, so he has to use a massager almost every day. So that's a necessity. So rather than put that in his carry-on, in his charge bag, he puts it in his carry-on because he's got kind of a duffel bag-like carry-on, so it'll fit. And it's easy when you're going through security to open the bag up, pull it out so they can see what the heck it is. All right? Shoes. Shoes are very interesting. I am a proponent of taking a good pair of walking shoes. Now, these walking shoes that have come out lately, where you just slip them on, you don't have to tie them, those are excellent. Those are excellent because they will allow you to slip them off when you're going through security, slip them back on. When you get on the plane, you can slip them off and put them up under the front seat so your feet have a chance to breathe and not be, laced down in a walking shoe for an extended period of time. Another thing, your electronic devices and their accessories. Make sure that you have room for them in your carry-on and in your backpacks. All right. These are essential devices that you don't want out of your sight. Okay. And I dare say I don't have a real problem with security of baggage in airlines, except for certain airports. But an ounce of prevention is always worth a pound of cure. So make sure you have your electronic devices and their accessories with you at all times in your carry-on and with your backpacks. And there's certain ways that I will discuss with you at a later time or in private consultation on how to maximize the stuff that you're putting in each one of your bags. Basically, how to pack. Okay, now, very important, and it's not at this stage, being one of the first stages after you've made your decision about going to the Philippines, make sure that you have a person of contact in the United States so that if there's an emergency, you can call them, or if you need aid in getting contact with them, you have their information so whoever's helping you can get in contact with them. Okay. Once again, this falls under the ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Okay. And if you can, also have name and contact information of people in the Philippines. Now, I have had people say, well, I don't know anybody in the Philippines. Well, as a travel agent, I do. So I can provide you not only with chaperones, but I can also provide you with people of contact that, for example, if your flight comes into Cebu and it's held up in Incheon because of bad weather, so you end up flying in 4 hours late, it's helpful to have a number that you can get in contact with somebody to let them know that your flight came in 4 hours late and where you are. Okay. If you're going to go to multiple locations, Manila, Cebu, Tacloban, Davao, Dumaguete, try to have a number of someone in contact there. Now, while we're talking about contact, get when you take your phone, get a SIM card in the Philippines so your phone will work with local numbers. Okay. I've had the experience of where I'm like, okay, I'll get the SIM card. I forgot, got hungry, decided I was going to call Food Lion to bring me something to eat. I had the number, but I couldn't call them with my phone because my SIM card didn't work with the Philippine numbers. So make sure you keep it in mind that you want to get a SIM card, as soon as you get there or within the first day anyway. All right. That will save you a lot of time. If you want to call a taxi, they all use Philippine phone numbers. They don't use American numbers. So you're going to want to have that SIM card just for the peace of mind and knowing wherever you are, you can always get to your hotel, your Airbnb, or back to the airport. So that is something else that you need to be prepping for early in your trip. And a SIM card won't cost you more than maybe $2 or $3. All right. Figure out where you're going to visit on your trip. Playing it by ear doesn't work. All right. And it doesn't work for a lot of reasons. Okay. You can end up being in a place that you weren't expecting to be. And therefore, you don't have a person of contact in the area. And therefore, you don't have, if an emergency came up, you don't really know how to tell somebody where you are. So have an itinerary, okay? It doesn't have to be to the hour, but at least to the day. Know that on your third day, you're going to be in Angeles City. And on your fifth day, you're going to be in Manila. And on the seventh day, you're going to be in Dieppe. But have some sort of itinerary. It will save you a lot of time. What else do I want to tell you? How much cash are you going to take on that flight when you leave home? If you can, try to get and travel with $200 US of Philippine currency. Now, I bank with Bank of America, so it's easy for me to order it. I pay $20 for $200 worth of Philippine pesos, which is 10,000 pesos. And that way, I've got enough money when I get off the plane that I can pay for my cab. If I don't have anybody picking me up, I can pay for my cab to get me from the airport to my hotel or wherever I'm going, my Airbnb. So I strongly suggest convert some money, $200, could be less, but I'm comfortable with $200. So that way I can get a cab to my hotel, Airbnb, my destination. And if I'm hungry, because you know what airport meals are like. Mm. And on that last leg of your flight, you're not going to, they're not going to fill you up with food. Now that first leg of your flight from the US, which is a longer leg, which could be 12, 15 hours, they're going to see to it you have plenty to eat. But that last leg, which might be only 4 or 5 hours, they're not going to fill you up. So you're probably going to end up being hungry. Make sure, so with $200 or 10,000 pesos, you'll be able to get you something to eat when you arrive. So that'll cover it. That should easily cover your cab fare, any minor tipping that you're going to do, and getting you something to eat. So you're going to be squared away from that standpoint. Mm-hmm. Now, that leads to the number one question of anybody going to the Philippines, and that is, how much cash am I going to need? The answer to that is, it depends on your lifestyle. I have met guys that have spent 4,000 pesos a day in the Philippines. To me, that's ridiculous. Okay, it's not a lot of money in US, when you convert it to US money. However, you really don't need to be spending that much. You really don't. And keep in mind, if as you get toward the end of your trip, if you get to a point where you're finding yourself getting short on money, when it comes back to that itinerary, try to be in a city that has plenty of ATMs so you can, make yourself comfortable for those last few days if you have caught yourself overspending. Okay. So, and give yourself a budget, because with this being the early stages of your planning, you can always adjust that budget. Okay. If the exchange rate goes up, then you'll spend less dollars. If the exchange rate goes down, then you'll spend a little bit more. And nothing is guaranteed because we don't know when you're going to go. However, over the last 6 months, it's been hovering, the peso to dollar exchange rate has been hovering anywhere from 54.5 to about 56. But who knows? When I was last there in October, it was 58.7. And that's free money. That's free money. Let me think. What else did I want to tell you? Oh, the reason I mentioned earlier about your bags, a carry-on, a check-in, a backpack. Those three should be suffice for most people. I used to be a fan of Airbnbs, but I've come to the conclusion that, and this is not just for the Philippines, but I am no longer a big fan of Airbnbs. Now, Geisha, you're going to probably say, well, what changed your mind about them?
Yeah.
Here's what I have found. If I was a husband traveling with a wife and 1 or 2 kids, an Airbnb is much more apropos to that type of traveler than a single traveler, okay? Because Airbnbs generally are not centrally located. And if they are, they generally tend to be more than if you went ahead and got a room in a hotel. And if you're comparing that central location, so you're close to everything, the hotel usually has a concierge that will help you out, giving you information as to what's going on and where to go. Okay? If you run out of a prescription while you're in a city, who are you going to call at an Airbnb to tell you where the pharmacy is, where Mercury Drugs is, where the nearest one is? Okay? The hotel, they know, and they'll help you.
Yeah.
If you're into fitness, most Airbnbs do not have gyms. They don't have pools. Okay, so that you can maintain your fitness routine. Okay. It is a lot easier to pick up a cab or a trike at a hotel than it is at an Airbnb. Because, once again, the hotel is centrally located.
Yeah.
There's more traffic around it. And the desk people, many cases, if they don't have their own drivers for the hotel, they will call the cab for you.
Yes.
All right. Now, and when you look at the pricing between the Airbnb and the hotel, you actually come out less expensive at a hotel. Okay. Oh, and then there's the biggie. And I mean, this is a biggie because I had it happen to me. Okay. I was in St. Croix in the U.S. Virgin Islands, having a great night out with some friends. All right. And I had on a nice shirt, slacks. I was dressed appropriate. And the waiter serving our table knocked over a glass of wine all over me.
Mm.
Okay. I was in an Airbnb. The stain set, the outfit was ruined. Okay.
Yeah.
And now this may not have too much of a bearing for you guys out there, but if you're a lady, you know how you are. Appearances say everything. All right. And you'd hate to have one of your favorite outfits, ruined where you can't go to the hotel and have room service, take it to a cleaner's and get it cleaned up and the stains removed and that type of thing. So, some of us, that's not a biggie, but some of us, that really is something to think about. Make sure you have a list of things that you're allergic to.
Mm.
Okay. Put that in your backpack or in your wallet, or for women, I hate to say purses because that sounds kind of old school.
Mm.
Most women now use those over the shoulder bags, and that's pretty cool. But I would tell you that for a woman, there is nothing that's over about 10 inches by 8 inches that you need to be carrying in a bag. Bigger bags make you targets. If you're going at night to the farm market and food market in Davao or Cebu or in Manila, and you're carrying a big bag, you're a target, or can be. Most of those places have fairly good security, but you don't want to tempt the hands of fate.
Right.
Okay. And so therefore, if you're carrying a backpack, that's pretty cool. That'll work because you can carry the backpack over your shoulder and under your arm. What else can I tell you in your preliminary plans going to the Philippines? There's a lot to be said that has been said about traffic. Let me just say this about getting from from the airport to your hotel. In Cebu and in Manila, they have licensed agencies. They're licensed by the government, all right, that are licensed to move passengers either from terminal to terminal or from terminal to hotels. Okay. These people, when you get out, pick up your bags and come out of the baggage area, they're in uniform, usually light colored blouses because they know about the heat. So they're not wearing anything dark. They're going to wear light colored blouses and shirts and usually navy blue slacks or black slacks. And they'll be carrying a clipboard, not a clipboard, but not a billboard either, but a board, a particle board large enough, and it will post what the rates are that include the tips to go to those destinations. Now, if you find that you get a driver, for example, that really speaks English well and is a good communicator, and you just gel with them on your way to your hotel, ask them for their number,
Sure.
because they will come and work as a guide for you if you want. And if you don't have somebody set up for a guide, they're terrific. Okay. Most places won't tell you that, but let me tell you, they're excellent. They're excellent. Make sure you understand jet lag. Okay. Jet lag is prevalent when you're flying to the east, not to the west. So if you're flying from Chicago, Dallas, Denver, Seattle, LA, San Francisco, San Diego, Phoenix, and you're flying west to the Philippines, you won't be really subject to much jet lag once you get there. However, if you're flying from the East Coast, Miami, Atlanta, Charlotte, Washington, D.C., Baltimore, Philadelphia, New York City, Boston, Cleveland, you're probably going to get a fairly healthy dose of jet lag, because you're going to be flying east to go to the Philippines. So you're going to be passing over Europe or through Europe into the Middle East, then from the Middle East into Asia and into the Philippines. And because you're flying in that direction, you're going to get a dose of jet lag. And your weight has a lot to do with how much jet lag you're going to get. The other thing too about jet lag is, if you put yourself on Philippine time the day before you leave, you can really lessen the effects of jet lag.
Yeah, I thought of that. I thought about that. I mean, we can even, me and you, we can even do it right now. We're in the central time zone. We just have to be used to just basically staying up later, going to bed like 2, 3 o'clock a.m. or something.
Well, you know me as a travel agent, because I deal with people in time zones all over the world. I am normally up till 3, 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, so you'll be
Matter of fact, I tell people my best hours are between 6 p.m. and 6 a.m.
right
in the morning, Central Standard Time.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, I do get a number of calls in that time slot.
Sure.
But it's okay. And so, you know, when it's 6 a.m. my time, it's 7 p.m. in the Philippines.
Right.
So I'm in sync with Philippine time pretty much all the time anyway.
Yeah.
Before you get on that flight, the day before you leave, have a good meal. The day you leave, just eat something light, snack a couple of times. You're going to laugh at this, but what I have found to be the very best thing to eat on the day before you're flying out is a Jimmy John's.
Oh.
That's lettuce wrapped.
Okay.
Or a Subway tuna fish sandwich. Or a chicken salad sandwich.
Okay.
Because these are easy for you to digest.
Digest, yes.
Because remember, the whole flight, other than when you get out to change planes, you're in a pressurized fuselage. Okay. And some people's digestive systems will act different. Some people, it will speed up their metabolism. Some people, it will slow it down. Okay. So you don't really want, you know, your digestive system and your intestines full to capacity on that flight.
Right. I can understand that. You probably want to do more fluids at that point, you know.
It depends. It really does depend. Um, for example, I when it comes to fluids, I am amazed how many places you can find Starbucks. And right now, I'm thinking about it from a standpoint of your flights from your home to the Philippines.
Yeah.
Okay. You'll find Starbucks and a number of other great coffee shops all over the Philippines. But Starbucks is really honed in on airports.
Yeah.
And so my beverage, my beverage of choice for traveling is a caramel frappuccino.
Well, you go get it. I ain't messing with too much Starbucks. That's a little bit too rich for my blood.
I'll tell you what, it's basically like a coffee milkshake, basically.
Yep. Oh, it's good. I ain't gonna say I don't like it, but do I want to pay for it? No.
well, come on. What is it? $4.95.
It's
You're
too
getting
much.
ready. You're getting ready to go on an adventure of a lifetime, going to the Philippines. You might as well.
I know, but I gotta still kind of have some kind of presence of mind just to not go crazy.
Yeah, well, you don't have to be drinking it the whole time.
No, I won't. No, believe me, I won't be drinking that like that. But we just want to say, right now, just I'm in a position of looking at somebody. It's got basically 75 days out before leaving for the Philippines. And you're giving a good idea of what people should be thinking about at this stage. And then, somebody's watching this series and going to be following it. They got to look at and see kind of where they are. If there's about 75 days out, and then as time goes on, we're going to see, if there's 60 days out, which is like 2 months, 50, kind of an intermittent, should I say, intermediary countdown of what person should be thinking about. And of course, you're going.
Well, each person is going to establish what their countdown is.
Right.
But what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to give you the information so that you can be ahead of schedule, or if you choose to be, so you're not, waiting to the last minute and saying, well, I forgot about this or I forgot about that. We want to give you enough lead time that you're going to have a great time. I don't want my travelers to be traveling in suspense. Yeah. Okay. Because for many of them, this is going to be their first time going to the Philippines. And so they need to find out why so many people end up sad in the airport when they have to come back saying, damn, I wish I'd have spent more time. I wish I had more time. Okay. Right. And once again, like I said earlier, I can help you with a strategy to do that. However, I can't talk about it on the blog.
Oh, but you know what you want to do right now? Tell the viewers now how they can best get with you as we close out here in this last minute. How can they get to Dana Middleton?
Okay. My travel business is bestfaresfortravel.com. Okay. And so you can use that. However, since you guys that are going to the Philippines, I want to handle that myself to make sure everything goes the way it's supposed to go. I would tell you to email me at DANAMIDDLE@AOL.com.